Welcome to today's session, the launch of our new training toolkits. My name is Lynette Badenhorst. I'm the Managing Director of Prabita Training, and I'm really excited to share with you today the launch of these new toolkits that is going to change the training game forever. What we are trying to do with these toolkits is to give control to the training officer. What we want to do with the training toolkits is to give the control back to the training officer. And that is what I'm going to show you today. How are we going to do that? As you know, things are changing constantly. The way things happen ensures that we also need to stay up to date with the latest technology. People want different things. They don't want the old way of traditional training anymore. We took all of that into account, and that is why we are now able to present to you this game-changing way in which you are going to manage training in your firm. So let me show you how this is going to happen. So I'm going to do a short presentation about the toolkits. I'm going to show you the types of toolkits that we have available. I'm going to talk about the benefits of the new toolkits. Then I'm just going to show you how you can see the content in each one of these toolkits and also how you can register for these toolkits. It's a very easy once-off process. So I think the emphasis today is on once off. Obviously, there is an annual subscription, but it's once off per year. Not every time there's an upcoming course or per individual. I think that is going to make things a lot easier in your firms. So what I want to show you here is how you can just access the landing page of these toolkits, because this will then be our starting point. So if you go to our website, our main landing page of Prabita Training, you should all be familiar with this by now. And you're on our landing page, you will see that there's a tab that says Training and Resource Hubs. So if you click on these Training and Resource Hubs, it will give you a landing page that shows you all the available toolkits, all the new ones that we have developed. But while we're on this page, I also just want you to look at this tab here, the Practice Manuals tab. So we've just split it out between the Training and Resource Hubs or toolkits and then your Practice Manuals. So the Practice Manuals are all those manuals that will then help you in your practice. Your ISKIM Policies and Procedures Toolkit, your FICA Toolkits, Training Office Policies and Procedures. We've got our Deceased Estates, Human Resources, POPI Toolkits. So there's several toolkits that can help you in your firm to streamline your practice. But these are not training toolkits. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus now on the Training and Resource Toolkits. So let me just show you the landing page. When you click on that link, you will get into the Training and Resource Hub pages, and you will see that we've listed all our toolkits here. You might have seen this before. They were called hubs, but we've changed the way that we're going to deal with these hubs. So it's not called a hub, and it's not per individual priced anymore. It's now priced per firm. So that is something that I will show you in a moment. Right. So this is the page that you are going to work from. This is where you can see what the content is of each one of these toolkits, as well as where you can subscribe to these toolkits. So what are the Probito toolkits then? And who are they for? Firstly, I've designed these toolkits for accounting, auditing, and tax practitioners, as well as anybody else that wants content in their own firms or businesses. Can be also accounting department where they have several employees in the accounting departments. One of your clients maybe, let's say they need some training on Companies Act, directors' duties. We often get that request. Then it's also available to them. But this is for accountants, auditors, tax practitioners. That is who we designed it for. Why did we design it? To make it more affordable in the first place. Training is very expensive. Sometimes if you think about a budget in a firm, and often people say to me, Lynette, we've got a budget. We need to decide what can we do, what must we leave, what can stay over for the next year. And hopefully with these toolkits, we will sort out that problem. Because there are certain things that you really, really want to give to your trainees or your employees. You want to put them on these training courses. But if you have to think about where you're going to spend your budget between technical and maybe things like soft skills, then most of us would say, okay, technical, yes, definitely. Soft skills, yes, really we want to, but there's no money for that. So that is what we're trying to change here. So with these toolkits, we're going to make it much more affordable so that you can also provide training on these other soft skills that is required by SAICA and all these other institutes. But obviously, there's usually no more money left in the budget after we've sorted out all our technical courses. It's designed for all types of firms, but those with employees specifically, because this is really targeted on a firm basis. So if you're going to do the costing, you will see that it's going to be a once-off fee per year, but it covers all your employees within that toolkit price. There's no additional charges per employee, and I'll go through everything with you in a moment. So you're looking at a small to medium to large firms that's going to make use of this. So it's really there for all firms. If you're a sole practitioner, then obviously the cost is also beneficial to you because it's just that once-off price. And in some of these toolkits, there are 100 hours of training. I will show you now. So we're really trying to make it very, very cost effective. So it's subscription-based. It is designed per topic, per relevant topic. So you can think about a topic, let's say, for example, Companies Act and directors' duties. We've got a toolkit for that. And that toolkit will then contain all those topics. When we look at auditing, we've got the auditing training toolkit. We've covered all our auditing courses in there. Or IFRS for SMEs. You will see there's something for everybody, yeah. If I can just quickly scroll through the different types of toolkits that we have available, there's a lot. I mean, I would really love for you afterwards just to scroll through this. We will provide the link in the chat box. You can have a look at them. I just want to share some of them. There's two different types that I just want to talk about. The first one is like the audit training toolkit. So here you can see everything about auditing in this toolkit to train your staff. For example, ERBA just released their enforcement report this week. And if I go through what is in that enforcement report, and I think about what training we provide and what I tell people to do, all of these things could have been avoided. And you're really going to see that if you just provide your employees with this training, you can avoid many, many, many of those similar findings. But yes, we do understand it's very costly. But now there's really no reason for anybody to say, I don't have the money for all of these things. So you have to pick and choose some courses, one year, one there maybe, which is really not enough. Now, what you see in the toolkit is that, let me just go back this one step again, just to show you that, just want to go back here to show you, if you want to see the content, just click on the picture. So you simply click on the little picture on the landing page, and that will give you the content of each one of these toolkits, because obviously I don't have time to go through every single toolkit with you here today. But what you're going to see is, for example, in the auditing one, we've got it per category. Under category, we've got these lessons, as we call them. These are all our courses that we presented on this topic. So we've taken the best of the best, everything that is relevant, everything that is still up to date, and we've created these toolkits with the best of our, from the best of our courses that we have. So we carefully selected this, we carefully put these toolkits together. You can see it's a nice flow from the ethics to the audit documentation, to the audit assertions, to the materiality, the fraud risk assessment. And you can see that there's also hours allocated to each one of these sessions. And you can see there's a whole lot. So I've just counted these. I think there's more than 100 hours of audit training in here. Right, so that's the first one. And then if you look at the others, we've got a legal practitioner's trust account. If you're doing trust accounts of legal practitioners, I saw that that was also a big issue. Apologies. That was also a big issue. Is it not sharing? In the ERBA enforcement report are these specialized topics. So I'm just talking to auditors now, and then we will move on to the other type of topics. So here we've got our legal practitioners trust account training toolkit. This is our specialized training. Again, we've taken the best of the best courses, everything about legal practitioners. So we know there's a window period in which you can train this. You don't want to wait for a service provider and then either miss the training, you're busy, you don't have time to get everybody on the course. So this is now at your fingertips whenever you need it. So maybe just before you go to tackle a attorney's trust account audit, you can do all the training quickly. Body corporates, also specialized, something that I think every person that do audits for body corporates or accounting work for these body corporates really need to have access to this toolkit, because it goes through all the legislation, all the rules, how to audit, how the financials should look like, all of those things. Then there's a tax administration toolkit. This one deals with tax administration matters. So we're still building on this one, but it will contain every single thing that you want to know about tax administration, all the different topics in tax administration, the courses that we've got available on the different topics. We've got an IFRS for SME. So IFRS for SME is a very reporting framework that most practitioners are using in South Africa. And obviously everybody should have the knowledge of this standard. And we have then broken it down into the relevant sections, and we are providing you with the different topics on IFRS for SMEs. We've also got, I'll get back to these other ones now in a moment. I just want to show you some of the others that is relevant to the accounting practices. We've got the Excel toolkits. A lot of people say, oh, we want to do Excel. Here's the Excel one, Excel for beginners, Excel intermediate to advanced. Anybody can actually go and subscribe to these toolkits. I mean, it's going to be available to people in public practice, outside of public practice, anybody that really wants to have a very good understanding of Excel. So we've also included our courses in there. Companies Act, everything that you want to know about the Companies Act. So time saving in 2 ways. You don't have to go and search for these topics and do your own research. Why don't you just come and listen to a recording? If you got that nagging question and you don't have an answer, the answer is probably sitting in the toolkit already. So everything that you want to know about Companies Act, you will find in this toolkit. Then for those of you that are using IFRS, we also got the IFRS training toolkit. This contains all the IFRS topics. We've broken it down into all the different IFRS line items. And we made it practical, easy to understand. And that is then available in these short sessions that we present. If I say short, it's probably 1 hour, 2 hours. 2 hours is our webinar durations. So you will have anything in here from 2 hours to 3 hours. These are the duration of the sessions that you will find in these toolkits. Right. Then another toolkit that we have available, and I don't think a lot of people knows about it, is this 5-day junior audit simulation. This is our flagship course. This is where we take your first year trainees, and together with them we do an audit. We take them through the audit from beginning to end. We provide them with all the client accounting records, all the evidence, the TB, the ledgers, everything. And together with the delegates, we do an audit. And then they have to complete working papers and they have to submit it to us. We review it. We send it back to them with review notes. They have to fix it and they have to upload it again. And then they need to make sure that they upload it and fix the problems like in real life until the reviewer is happy and we can sign them off on that. So this is our flagship one. Please just note that this is per person because there's a lot of interaction from our side on the specific toolkit. So before you subscribe to anything, just check, is it per person or per firm? Just make sure that you check that out first. All right, so some of them are still per person, but most of them will now be priced per firm. Then something else that you would see here is where it starts with trainee competency skills toolkits, business valuations. You remember Psycho required in the 2016 programs and the 2025 programs, not so much, but that you have to do simulations or provide your trainees with simulations if you can't provide them with the hands-on experience. So we provided those competency skills simulations. That was per individual priced. But now we're going to make it available to practices per firm, which means that you can now go and say to whoever you want to, or everybody, I want you to do the business valuation section. I need you to get that experience. Entirely up to you, how you want to structure it, who you want to complete the courses. So the control is in the hands of the training officer, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So we've got several of these toolkits: financing and investment decisions, cash flow management, risk management and governance, performance measurement, budgeting and forecasting, internal controls, commercial law, business rescue, cost management, corporate law. It's quite a lot of them. If you get to this page here, this is the FICA and money laundering page. I see that some people miss this one often. If you click on this one, it will take you through to all the money laundering courses that we have. So please just have a look at this. It's price per delegate. Always just check. But we've got a lot of FICA courses for employees, for compliance officers, and for management, and also for the different industries. So for high value goods dealers or legal practitioners, you must just make sure that you always pick the right course here. And so that is the toolkits that we have available. You can have a look at it later on in your own time. So, and we're also adding more toolkits as we work on them. So you just always keep an eye out, and we will also send you notifications if we do have new toolkits. So what are the advantages? Let's talk about that. What's in it for you? Now, firstly, this is firm-wide access. So if you subscribe to a toolkit, let's go back to my auditing one, for example, and you subscribe, the toolkit will be available to all employees in the firm. You can decide how you want to subscribe to this toolkit. There's one of two ways. The training officer can subscribe and take full control of all the training sessions. You can decide when you want to do the training. Let's say you want to do a training on audit documentation. You can actually say to your employees, Friday morning, 9 o'clock, be in the boardroom. We're going to do a training session on audit documentation. You set it up, you print the material for them, and they can start listening to the video all together in one boardroom. You can plan ahead. You can decide when you want to do what, and you just make sure that you arrange a time and a place for all your employees to be together on that specific day. So some people prefer that. It's perfectly fine. Some people say, no, we want these employees to do it themselves whenever they've got time available. So maybe they're not scheduled for any auditing work or accounting work, and they've got some time on hand. We want them to go and do their training. That's also perfectly fine. We do bulk uploads of your employees. Should you wish to do that, they will all have their own login details, and they can then watch the training sessions when they have time. Or you can schedule it to them and say, you do this, the other one that. I see you need some development on this topic, so please go and have a look at that video there, and then come back with the results. I will talk about the post assessments in a moment. Right. So there's no individual course registration, no waiting, no booking persons individually. You will see that it is a 365-day subscription, which means that if you register today, you will have access to the content in this hub for 365 days. You can watch any video in that toolkit as many times as you want. If we upload your employees on the same day, they will also have access 365 days. When somebody leaves your firm, you simply let us know. Joseph has left the firm. Please take him off. Please add another person. But when we add somebody else, please just note that the remainder of the subscription period will be the same. So if you upload a new employee, let's say halfway through the 365-day period, then they will only have access until the end. But if you renew again, they will have another 365 days access to the toolkit. Like I said, full flexibility. Training can happen anytime, anywhere. You can schedule group sessions. You can be self-paced. It's entirely up to you. Just keep in mind one thing about post-assessments. Just make a note of that, because this is something that you need to think of before you decide how you're going to subscribe. If it's going to be only the compliance officer, now I'm on FICA again, the training officer, or the you want to register all your employees. But both methods are available. No waiting for scheduled dates. You don't have to wait anymore for a topic, because there's no way that a training provider can give you all the auditing training topics in the first week or 2 weeks when you're ready to do training. because they might have scheduled it, and I say they also include us, and I know how it works, been in the industry for many, many, many years, know the frustrations. So we schedule it over a period of time, and maybe that specific topic that you're interested in is only going to come up in April or May, but you're ready to do your training in January, February. So that's not going to help you at all. Training can begin immediately. So the moment that you are subscribed to a toolkit, you get immediate access to that content and you can start scheduling. It will also help you to put your plan together for the year. Also, if you do your performance evaluations of your employees and you identify some gaps in their development, you can have a look at the toolkits and say, okay, yeah, I know, see that you've got a problem there. So there you go. There's your training session that you need to complete. Then the content. Content is our best training courses available. We really got the best presenters, experts, everyone in their field has presented these courses, doing a lot of research. We spent hours and hours and hours on doing research to make sure that we deliver content that is always up to date, relevant, of a high standard, and we also try to make it as practical as possible. So we all understand that you can also read the legislation, you can also go and read the standard, but that's not what you want. You want somebody to analyze it, to summarize it, and to present it to you in a very practical, easy, understandable way. And that is exactly what we do with all of our training sessions. So what do you get if you subscribe? You will get a video. I will show you one of the hubs now in a moment. Download a material. So the material that was used during the training session, as well as any other documents that we used. So if we also made available a spreadsheet or a separate document, all of those documents will also be uploaded there, and you can find that in the toolkit. But now for one thing that you just need to take note of, and that is post-assessments. If you're a professional person registered with a professional body, they're very finicky these days about post-assessments and certificates. There's no way for us to prove that anybody attended or listened to a video. And I think everybody will understand the issue that we're sitting with here. I cannot come back to you and say, Joe Soap has listened to these videos, so you can allocate CPD points to Joe Soap. We cannot do that. The institutes are adamant. After you've watched the video, they want you to do a post-assessment, and they want you to obtain that certificate. And that's the proof that they accept at the end of the day. There are still people coming to us from time to time and ask us to write a letter to the institute where we can go into a live session where we can actually see the duration the person was logged on, and then we provide a letter to the institute. But they're not very happy with these things. So slowly but surely we have to tell everybody, listen, you need to do a post-assessment after you've done a course. Now, developing a post-assessment system, and please see it from my view and the issues that we have putting systems like this together, then I need to keep record of thousands of people's post-assessment results. And I have to keep those results for many, many years. And I must also be able to provide reports to practitioners who come back to us and say, can you tell me which courses did Joe Soap do and what did Joe Soap get? Or Joe Soap lost his certificate, please can you issue for us another certificate, or can you just give us a copy of the certificate? I have to keep all of those things. So I pay a third-party service provider to do all of those things for us and to keep those records. for your benefit, to make sure that we will always be able to provide you with the information about who did what. Now, as you can see, here are many, many, many courses. So obviously we need a system that keeps track of everything. And this system charges us a fee per person who do post assessments and charge us a fee to keep all of those records. So there was no way that we can throw post assessments into this, because if you're going to pay a fee for the firm and then there's 100 people doing 100 courses, then, and we have to pay for every one of those post assessments, I mean, you can do the sums. We are going to be bankrupt within one day. So that is why we had to say that, as we always did, because of the fact that we have to pay service providers, is that the post assessment must be charged or ordered separately. Now I'm going to show you how this is going to happen. So that is why I say, think about the way that you want to register. If the training officer wants full control of the toolkit and then allocate the courses to certain people, they can also, the training officer is the one that's going to order the post assessments. So they know exactly who they want or who attended that specific day and how many post assessments they want and for whom they want those post assessments, and then they're going to place an order for that. On our side, we're then going to issue, once you tell us how many people, you will get a document that you tell us who are the people that you want it for. It's an easy process. It's just a name and an ID number. And then we issue you with links to those post assessments. So if you order 10 post assessments for order documentation, then you will get the 10 links will be sent to the individuals, and they will then can do their post assessments. Easy as that, but somebody needs to take control. If you decide that you want to give control to your employees to go access the toolkit whenever they want, and they listen to something, and they can come to you, and you can then place that order for that toolkit. But that can easily become a nightmare. If I think about it, if people come to you one on one, and you place them one by one, which is not a problem on our side. I'm just thinking about the admin that it would cause on your side. So I just really need you to think about the admin behind ordering post assessments for whom. You know, maybe just have a system in place where you say, okay, we'll order post assessments. Tell us what courses you want to do, and then we will order post assessments before you start doing the courses. It will also give you some kind of control over the fact that people need to listen to the content, so that they can do the post assessments and they can get their certificates. What we do on our side is that we will keep record of every post assessment that has been done, because it can easily become a nightmare. If you've got 100 people, 100 courses, who has done the post assessments, who must still do it, it becomes a nightmare. Part of the fee that we charge for those post assessments is also for us to provide you with reports when you need it. So you can come to us and say, can you tell me, Joseph, which courses did Joseph do? And we provide you with a program or a document, a report of what they did and what their scores were. We also have a program available for each person to log in separately. So Joseph can log in separately, and they always have access to that program. It's free. There's no charge for that. And you can simply say to Joseph, please print me your report at the end of each month, and the training officer can then see. This was allocated to Joseph, but Joseph didn't do any post assessments. What's going on here? So you can have full control over that. Simply just say to the employee, please print me your report on a monthly basis and bring it to me. So there's several ways in which you can get that information that is always available, either on that post-assessment results portal that we have, or we can also provide you with that information. Yes, so that is what I wanted to talk about, the toolkits and how it does work. What I want to do is I want to show you one of those toolkits now, just to give you an idea of what you're going to see inside the toolkit. and then we can allow time for some questions and answers. So I'm just going to take a second just to set up a toolkit quickly. You should be able to see my audit training toolkit. So what you will see is typically on the left-hand side, the different categories that we've got. Within each category, there are lessons. So you will always see the duration of a lesson, what it's all about. If you just want to read up on it, so if you click on it, it will tell you there what this lesson is all about. And if you decide that you want to play this in a boardroom, you simply set it up. When everybody's ready, you click on the start button and it will play the video. There's the attachments. You can download it, distribute it amongst your employees. Easy as that. So when you're ready, you can move on to the other categories. You can see that there's many categories. Testing auditor sessions, for example, same story. You can just move along the different categories. So it's entirely up to you how you want to design this and who you want to attend or listen to these videos. Right. So some of them, like the audit one, has got about 100 hours in there. They vary the amount of topics that we've got in the toolkits. Have a look at the pictures. If you click on it, it will give you the content. But that's basically what you're going to get in these toolkits. Right. The other thing that I quickly just want to show you is the post assessments, how you're going to order the post assessments. So you just request post assessments, just provide your details, number of post assessments, of the name of the post assessment that you want. Here you just need to be very specific. We are going to ask that you just copy and paste the name of that course and the duration in here so that we know exactly what post assessment you are looking for. How many trainees? Let's say you want post assessments for 10 trainees. Just say 10, submit. That will pull directly through to the invoicing system. It will send an invoice and the admin staff will then send you a document that you need to complete. I think it is set up that you will automatically get an email with that document where you just complete it and say, how many people do you want the assessments for? And then we issue those assessments. So and then your job is done as the training officer. So that is all that you need to do. Schedule and make sure you order post assessments. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the end of my presentation. Let's see if you have any questions. I see that Mariette has included the link to that front page in the chat box if you want to grab it there quickly. Mariette, maybe if you can just drop it in there again, please. Mariette did drop the link, so if you want to grab the link from there, there you are. She just drop that link in there again. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions for us about these toolkits? Any feedback, any advice, any requests from your side, anything that we can assist with? You're welcome to chat with us. The post-assessment is R100 per person per post-assessment. And that is our normal fee that we always charge for a post-assessment. I just want to show you quickly. I don't think a lot of people are really aware of our post-assessment result portal. I just want to show this to you. If you're on our front page and you click on this post-assessment result portal here, this is free of charge. All your employees can register here, and when they do post-assessments, they will have a report like this. And every time they complete a post-assessment, it will be added to this document. And this is what I said, you can go to your trainees and say, listen, give me your report on a monthly basis. And they can print it, PDF, Excel it. And you will always have access to this. You can even ask us for access. We can give you access to this. Well, we can print the reports on your behalf. But every employee does have access to this automatically. They must just register for this. Right. Are there any other questions maybe? Anything else? Okay. So, I don't see any other questions. Seems like my presentation was clear enough. But you're welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to reach out to us. Mariette is in charge of the toolkits. Most of you know Mariette by now. She will be the one that is registering you and your employees, should you wish, managing everything. Precious will be in charge of the post assessments that you're going to order. There is somebody that will be able to assist you every step of the way. Okay. Any other questions maybe before we log off? Okay, that's it then. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate it. I'm sure you're going to have hours of joy with these toolkits. I hope you are just as excited as I am about these toolkits. Because this is what I thought about it long and hard. I thought, if I were to be a practitioner, what do I need? What do I want? I want control. I want something available immediately. I don't want to struggle with separate registrations. And I always want something that is up to date. And this is exactly what we are providing you here with. You no more need to wait for anything or anybody. That is the purpose of these toolkits. Thank you so much for attending, and hopefully we will then be able to see you on our toolkits. And if you've got any questions for us, please just reach out to us. We are there to assist. From my team also, thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.